Like even the idea that now's a great time to go and negotiate your rent, now's a great time to go and think about finding places to potentially purchase property if you are.
Yep.
What should be people thinking about doing right now when it comes to making money that you couldn't have been doing a year ago that's very different now?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, first, what I would think about today is I think you got to first understand some like baseline financial literacy. And you and I were talking about this. They say the average American reads at a sixth grade reading level. They say the average American actually understands finances at about a high school level. So we're taught, and you remember this in high school, we're taught all the way up to like budgeting. Like back in our day, probably the kids don't do it this way anymore, but you used to have checkbooks, right? Now everybody knows how old I was, and you have to like balance your checkbook. And how do you do that? A little ledger. That's actually where we're capped. And so I think first what I want people to do is realize that if you don't understand money, you're never going to make more of it, because understanding money is like speaking a language. How are you going to speak to somebody in Spanish and communicate and win at that relationship if you guys don't speak the same language? It's very hard, right? So I want people to speak the language of money. So I think about this in like small ways. Let me tell you like one way to know if you're financially literate today. One way might be, do you really understand the difference between debit and credit cards and why you should really never be using debit cards? Everybody talks these days about how credit cards are bad, right? Well, credit cards are bad if you don't pay off your payment every single month, if you allow big interest rates to stockpile, and if you use it as I want things as opposed to I need things. Credit cards are bad. But debit cards are actually worse. They don't allow you to build credit, and credit, good credit in this country, is the underpinning of wealth. Debit cards do not allow that. They also don't give you any points or perks or cash back. And then you're less protected actually with a debit card. So if somebody steals your debit card and goes and charges things, the bank goes, I don't know, that's your money. Don't really care. If you go and you charge a bunch of things on your credit card and there's fraud, what do? 2 clicks, they erase it, right? They ship you a new card. And so I think this generation was so tormented by credit is bad, debt is bad, don't have it. Well, the people who are the richest in the world, they all have some debt, just good debt as opposed to bad debt. So where I want you guys to start is actually before you even think of making more money, let's understand the language of money, right?
I'm so glad we're starting there. It's brilliant. And I had personal experience of this. So I grew up in London where it's not the same setup.
Yeah.
It's similar, but it's not exactly the same. The whole structure is not based on credit as strongly.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trained to believe you only use a debit card. And so I